Hello, Obiahoye. Ha. I believe human beings, our core purpose is to try and survive. The core purpose of our existence is survival. I believe that's our core purpose. That's it. Can we extend it to our clan? Yes. Can our clan also survive? Yes. Because obviously, by making your circles or your clan survive, it gives you a better chance of survival. That's why we're social creatures. We protect each other. We make laws to kind of protect each other as families as well, right? So our point of survival, because we know everything has to perish, we try and survive by cloning ourselves. And by cloning yourself, you mean having children. So in a way, your children are you. You're just surviving because you know the body will go, but you want to try and exist. I think it's with plants. Mango seed, for example, wants to produce a seed so that it goes and grows somewhere. It wants to survive, right? And there's levels of survival that you can do for your children. Part of the reason I try to share a bit of what I've gone through, my experience and my mistakes as well, is to learn from it so that someone else could not also go through it as well. And I think it's part of society also, or part of your role and job as you get older to kind of help the next generation. Like, we're lucky to kind of live in a time where there's this social media and stuff like that. Back in the day, you would have had to read books. I was watching a movie last time, and I think it's even Fresh Prince as well, where they didn't have phones and everything. You had to go and stand by the landline and stuff like that to dial and make calls. How you kind of left information was different. Now we can just come straight to the target audience. So I'm hoping this video kind of finds people in future. Part of the reason why you need to try and go back home is, as you're building and building and building and building there, you don't want your children to kind of restart life again. You understand? You don't want them to restart life again. Now, majority of us that come down, we come and work 9 to 5 business. Now, the good news is a lot of people are starting to, businesses are trying to spring up, because I remember there weren't even like local shop, Ghanaian shops, or anything, the African shops. But now there's more and more and more. But I was thinking about it last time. When you go and work for somebody, it's someone that's taking the risk of opening a business, right? So someone's family has opened a business, a trade, anything, and they need more people, and that's why you're there. But we live in a society, or we live in any kind of country or society where you can kind of create your business as well. So you could now, even as you're watching this, register a company, and with that company have employees, and you be the director or whatever, right? It's not that hard to do. So we shouldn't always just think of working as well. When you're working, you can also create a job. And creating this job means, number one, your children can also come and help. Now, when your children finish school, right? Say they get to 14, 15, 16, or even, no, I was going to be rude there. Even if they were to finish university, right? When they finish, they'll still look for a job. So what they're going to do is they're going to apply for a job, right? So they're going to go there, they're going to say, dear sir, stroke, madam, blah, blah, apply, put all their qualifications or in a paper, and go to an employer to employ them. Now, remember, you could do the same thing as well. The employer they need to do could be you. So if you create a business, or if you keep one eye on a business, now what's going to happen now is, when they finish, they can take over what you're doing. My neighbor in Ghana was telling me how the daughter was gonna finish university, currently university now. I think got a year or two to go, and they were gonna come and work for his company. And at the time, I thought, okay, yeah, cool, that's a great idea. But it didn't quite hit me until I thought, because sometimes when you hear this story, you're just thinking of someone else. But why not you? When they finish job? Because basically everyone's just getting their children ready for to go and work for someone. Why not your company? So part of the reason, and because Ghana is mostly trade kind of society, almost every house, everyone has like a business or something like that. The earlier you go and establish these things and suppliers and everything, the earlier that your children can come and you can kind of teach them while they're younger. They could be at the store or at the service or at the office with you as you're doing it so that they learn the ropes. And I tell you something, watching these kids now, their level of intelligence is unbelievable. But they need a base. Once you give them a base, you give them something to start off with, because I'm of the opinion they're never going to go back anyway. But your chances of them going back depends on what they have there. You know, if you've got like a land or you've got a little shop and everything, why should they finish and then go and look for a job while you can create one? The best thing is they can create one, but if you start something early and the business is within 2 or 3 years or 4 years, then the chances are they can kind of come, take over, work with you in a way you get to keep an eye on your children and everything. Because, you know, part of this problem we're having sometimes with the children is the fact that we're always out of the house or we're having to work these jobs. Try and create a business, you know. I mean, it should be where you live, to be honest with you, it should be here. But remember, most of my content I talk about men, and when you get to a certain age, you know, you need to think about, okay, starting something there early, even if you're not there all the time, but starting early and getting to know suppliers, getting to know people, getting to know, getting the people to trust you, because you're the foreigner. They need to trust you. Need to kind of show consent so they can trust you. Then getting your kids to come in there to kind of help out. Even why can't they do a summer intern where they come and kind of help you with your business? They have to. It doesn't have. Do not rely on them whether they enjoy or not. That's just nonsense. Who the hell enjoy going to sit at work? But you do it. So I tell you something. Before someone, yeah, the 99% don't. You might be the one person. But what I'm trying to say is, sometimes if you're getting your kids to kind of do chores and everything, they're not always happy, but it has to be done, and then it gets ingrained in their psyche. That's the same way that getting them to do a business also is key. Let them come, even if you do the business, if you establish something back home, every summer they come work with you, right? Learn how to kind of how the business works, learn how business works in general. Learn how business works in general, you know. I was thinking that a lot of parents are teaching, and luckily I went to some black events and stuff like that, and I've seen there's a lot of parents trying to teach their kids. Like, some of them are doing books, some of them are doing t-shirts, some of them are establishing businesses. We need to learn. Your child needs to have be recession proof. They need to have that ability to kind of generate legal money. They don't have to get to a point where they finish college, because the issue always arises around 14, 15, 16, 17. That's where the issue starts. Then they start becoming aware of themselves and say, oh, yeah, there's this designer, there's this clothing, there's this blah, blah, this is everything. Oh, no, this is what causes. Then the peer pressure starts getting to them. So you need to start early and getting them to know that you need to be making money. This is the bills, and I pay this, I pay this, I pay this every month. I've got a business. Come and learn how to do business. What do you want to sell? And get them to kind of start thinking about sales, selling. A trade is so key. But my angle for this video was to get you to understand that the quicker you establish a business, the better. And also, you can establish a business for them to work for you, so that when they finish, they've got a job. Simple. Because thinking about it now, so someone's creating a job for you, you can create a job for your own children. You know, apparently about 13% of the economy, especially in the UK, are self-employed. I see a lot of people kind of, when they get to a certain age, their kids kind of doing having a van and then maybe a trade, and then their kid being with them, going around and teaching them how to do a trade as well. This is key. These are the kind of things that transcends AI, transcends all the issues we're gonna have in the workplace. Okay.